What is going on, everybody? How are we doing today? Hope we're doing all right. I just got a text from some buddies. Sorry, just silencing my phone real quick. But what's going on? Hope we're doing all right as usual. As usual, I hope we're doing all right. Um, excuse me. Uh, yeah, I'm good. It's a Sunday, all right. It would usually be Oblivion Sunday. Okay, but I'm gonna leave it up to the people that are here. All right, what's going on, Cavalog? What's going on, Zachary Verd? What's going on, everybody who's here, either in the chat or not? Whether you're talking or not, I appreciate you being here as usual. We would usually be doing Oblivion today. We kind of paused that for a couple of weeks because Fish Tank was going on. But you know, Fish Tank ain't going on anymore. You know. And because of that, we're gonna get back to the Oblivion, but. Seeing as how it is the 4th of July weekend, it's July 6th today. July 4th was last Friday. I'm thinking we might play War of Rights because there is a game mode that they have for the rest of the weekend. It's Patriots versus red what's it called, red coats. I almost called them redbacks for some reason. What the fuck's a redback? But excuse me. I'm gonna leave it up to anybody who happens to be in the chat. What's going on, Smart Moron? You know, if you want to play some Oblivion, we can play Oblivion. If you want to play War of Rights, we can do War of Rights. That event is ending either tonight or tomorrow in War of Rights, so it's not going to be going on for too much longer. That's part of the reason why I was like, okay, let's play some War of Rights. But we'll do like a 1 for Oblivion, a 2 for War of Rights. But you don't even have to worry about it right now. I'll ask in a more hardcore, more stringent way. I will ask in a minute. But what is going on, Baja Candle as well? It's July 7th in the UK. I'm from the future. That's actually, I was kind of afraid of that because like I don't know who the devs are for War of Rights. I would assume they're American, but every now and again you get like an English dev team that's like, yeah, you know what? I give a fuck about the American Civil War. They're just like, yeah, nah, this it's my autism and I get to pick the fixation. You know, that's kind of how they are with it. Um, or like for some reason they run on that time or whatever, you know. But I'm pretty sure it is still good to go, you know. I'm working on a new video. For those of you that don't know, for those of you that are new or you just forgot. None of you who know me forget though. I'm all you think about. I'm all you think about, aren't I? Um, I I mean this series, if you want to call it that, has kind of been on hiatus. But I was doing a bit of a series to blow off some steam here, where I would. It was basically troll videos. Like, excuse me, jeez, I'm doing a lot better than last time. I haven't been drinking tonight, although I'm looking at the whiskey I have in my room, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe I should make myself a drink or something like that. But um, I'm still like trying to get my shit together right now. But um, yeah, so I was doing this series, if you want to call it that. There's been 2 installments in what was supposed to be a big series of mine where I kind of blow off a little bit of steam while making some videos that are kind of reminiscent of stuff that you would see on old style YouTube. You know, trolling videos, whether it's just like talking shit over a microphone. I did one, it was just talking shit over a microphone. I did one where it was mic spam and it was Chris Chan themed. I'll go ahead, I'll show it to you guys because at this point, what's it even matter, you know? Um, I'll see if I can find it. Oh, excuse me. And the third one I was going to do was going to be War of Rights themed because it's a game that is rife or ripe. It's a game that's ripe for fucking around, and I have been thinking about it, and I'm either a gonna do kind of like a narrative sort of thing, meaning like you know, there's gonna be a storyline. I guess you could say it's like a brief story kind of thing, or I'm gonna make it more like a YouTube poop, you know. But we'll see. Fraud World. Yeah. So, uh, 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 Do I want to watch the whole of this one? You know what I'll do? One moment. I'm still looking for it. I'm still looking for it. Uh, yes, here it is. So these are just fun little videos that I do specifically because I want to like mess around and have fun editing and it's like I said, it's kind of like an ode to the old school, like what you used to see uh on like YouTube back in like 2008 to 2000 like 13 14, you know. But this is this is my Chris Chan video. I'll go ahead and fuck around a little bit with it.
Girls and boys, and dudes of all teenagers, as well as the gals. My name is Christian Chandler. I am here, and y'all are there. This message is for everyone of the present.
See, I purposefully made. I mean,
my
desk is messy anyway, but I purposefully made it like messy in that way. Like, it had the Mountain Dew there, just to, you know, just for the effect.
February 24th, 2007, my birthday, my 25th birthday.
My 25th birthday. My 25th birthday.
Years, I've seen and learned so much, and today I intended to share some wise words that I hope each and every one of you will take to heart and allow for yourself and everyone else a better, brighter future.
Action.
Hello, my name is Barbara Chandler.
I wish to wish Nicholas Cruz happy birthday. Yay!
I forgot about this.
What are you, what?
Bye.
Y'all better get ready because I'm gonna win this shit, huh?
A sap, a chump, dumbass.
Shut your dumbass ass.
You're the shitheads.
Bitch.
You see, I did zero talking in this. We won't watch the whole thing. I'll post a link to it, you know, in the I'll post a link to it in the chat, you know, if you want to watch it later. Watch it later, not now. You're here now. Stay here. Stay here now. But excuse me. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Damn, fuck. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but like I didn't do any talking in it. It was all soundboard. So people are like arguing with the soundboard and the soundboard only. You know, and that made it a little bit difficult to do because not everybody is using their mics in online games now. Like, it was a lot more common back in the day. You had like a good mix of people who were like, we're gonna do microphones, and then people who were like, no, we're not gonna do microphones. But like now I feel like you have a lot more people who are just like, no, we're not gonna do microphones. And then in addition to that, you don't have that added piece where when you were in a lobby, the lobby stayed together. Now, in order to avoid people shit talking in lobbies, you end up in a lobby, you play the game, the lobby disbands, and then you get added to a new lobby with new people, you know? So it made it a little bit difficult. I couldn't even like slowly build up. So it was very either like, it was sink or swim, where it's like I had somebody who was like absolutely positively like they were just a basket case right away, or it just was like me, like a fucking idiot, like hitting Chris Chan soundboard shit on my phone while nobody did or said anything, you know. But Scott, can you call me a good boy for staying? Nah, I think I'm all set. I think I'm all set on that. I think I'm good on that. Yeah. I think I'm all set. People need to chill with the fireworks. The birds be fucking literally any other time. Yeah. Like I'm an unk now, you know. I'm an old goofy. I'm 30 years old. All right. So I'm at that age where it's like I hear fireworks and I'm like, what the hell are those kids doing? You know? But it's also annoying because it's like it's one thing you hear fireworks way off in the distance. There was a stream I did not a couple of weeks ago, like a week ago, where there was somebody lighting off fireworks and it was just a constant like bang, 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 and I was just like, fuck, dude, that is annoying. Get that away from me. Get it away. Get it away from me. Oh, excuse me. I don't know what we're voting on or whatever, but my favorite gaming streams were the Fallout New Vegas ones. Got me to play the game for the first time and fell in love with it. So thanks for that. Hey, no problem, Zachary. You know, I'm happy you were able to play it. Excuse me, and have a good time with it. We're gonna vote in a little bit about whether or not we're gonna go the Oblivion route or the War of Rights route. You know, and I was just showing you guys like the kind of video, not the exact kind of video, but a similar video that I plan to make with War of Rights, you know. I'm thinking either one. What's going to happen is I'm going to write a script where I have to do voiceover in like a weird like British or like colonial accent, if you want to call it that. And I'm gonna claim like, oh, I found the journal of my Revolutionary War ancestor. You know, and then I'll splice footage of things in between the reading everything, you know. Or like I said, it's just gonna be straight up like a fucking YouTube poop. There's just gonna be like insane like edits and shit like that. Just like schizophrenic, you know, schizophrenic. We'll see though. We'll see what I feel like doing. Real vets get nostalgia, not PTSD. Yes, yes, indeed. Man, like I'll say one thing. I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't think it's a coincidence that the same people who post in your local Facebook pages, your local Facebook groups, I don't think it's a coincidence that they're the people who post about like, oh, be mindful of pets when the 4th of July comes. I don't think it's a coincidence that those people are also the same people who are like, if you think there's something to celebrate right now when there's deportations going on, we live on stolen land. There is nothing to celebrate here. I don't think it's a coincidence that the people who post about the doggos, oh man, the doggos, oh dude, we're scaring the doggos. I don't think the same. It's simply not a coincidence. They're just trying to obfuscate from their true feelings by making you feel bad about something that is a little bit more legitimate than just crying about deportations and things like that, you know. It's stupid as shit, you know. And like it's a situation where yeah, I'm not a big fan of like living in a place where like houses are close together and my next door neighbors like, yeah, it's July 1st, let's fucking light off fireworks randomly. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that, but also I'm not going to pretend like it's not just me being like, yo, I don't like that personally. I'm not going to be like, but my doggo, but what about my doggo? But my doggo is scared. My doggo's scared. You need to have consideration for my doggo is what you got to do. Like, I'm not gonna be like that. I'm just gonna be like, yo, neighbor, like that was really fucking obnoxious. Could you not do that? Or if like you're gonna do it, could you at least warn me in advance? You know, like, come on, man, what are you doing? You know, like it's just it's very feminine, and it's no coincidence that a lot of these people are also females. You know, it's not a coincidence. But yeah, it's just so stupid. Grabunia Texas War of Rights looks good. Haven't played it yet. I'd recommend it. Pets are a vehicle for them to push a narrative. That's why I morally object to all those people, even though I love animals. Exactly, you know? Show me one conservative who is like, hey, just keep in mind that my dog is around and, you know, he's going to be scared. Even like veterans, like well, it morphs. Arguments like this morph. Arguments like this are living things where like they start off with one standpoint and then when that doesn't work they move on to the next one. So it went from like, oh, but you can't be bothering me during the 4th of July. It went from something along the lines of that. It went from something that's like personal, like Scrooge bullshit, Grinch bullshit. It went from something like that to, oh, but what about the doggos? Doesn't everybody here like doggos? You can pet the doggo. You can pet the doggo. Everybody likes doggos. Don't you want to make sure the doggos are like comfortable? And then when that didn't work, they moved on to actually think about the veterans. Think about the veterans. Some veterans have PTSD and they don't like that kind of thing. And you're gonna trigger them and blah blah blah. It's like fucking earplugs exist. I could give a shit. Fucking boo hoo, for real. You know, Virgin American Karen white knighting dogs on the 4th of July versus Chad nightly African drum circles with hyenas playing. Yes. A real conservative puts fireworks on the dog and six it on the local naysayers. Exactly, Cavalog. A conservative just six the dog on the fireworks enjoyer. Yeah. Fuck him. Scott, you should try Hold Fast. It's someone like War of Rights. I feel like I've heard of that before. Ecuador. It's not. Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what? Hold Fast is. I've thought about doing that one before too, because I've seen tweets about it. It's ads, ads on Twitter, but I've seen stuff about it. Oh, I got a hole right here. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. But yeah, it's yeah. I've heard of it though, and I'd consider it for sure. Belsco says Diwali in Canada. Diwali sounds familiar. I don't know why. Scott, please think of the poor heckin' pupperinos. Yeah, that's good. That's an awful 5 minutes of their lives that they immediately bounce back from. That's one of the worst things about the feminization of our culture, is that everything becomes a manipulative game. And like, I grew up with that kind of thing. My mother was an emotional and mental terrorist, the likes of which none of us wanted to deal with, and I was the only one who was like willing to fight back. But my dad and my brother and me, we all had this little understanding between us that our mom is a fucking basket case idiot, and that like we just gotta deal with it. And there's so many fathers out there that have that same understanding as their sons, and the reason why it's that way is because women have been given a little bit too much leeway or a little bit too much control over anything and everything. And what ends up happening is you have situations where, and this is like one of the ways that my mother would control people, is she would use pitfall language, instead of just being like, no, you can't, or no, you should not, because she knows she couldn't actually stop us and that she didn't have a good reason to want to stop us. It was just my feelings. She'd be like, I would feel more comfortable if you wouldn't do this. And she would say it like that too. Like, it wouldn't be, I'd just feel more comfortable if this didn't happen. She couldn't even just be like nonchalant about it. It would be like, well, I would feel more comfortable if you didn't go to the store right now. I would feel more comfortable, like, it basically almost like threatening, where it's like, oh, I have to make you comfortable, and if I don't, I'm gonna have to deal with a fucking temper tantrum and shit like that. And that's the exact type of shit that these people do. That's like a very feminine manipulation kind of thing. And unfortunately, the way our society works nowadays is we just give in to that feminine manipulation, and it's really the only way you can get something. I have to Karen out on somebody at least once a week, because that's the only way I can get what I need out of them. Some kind of like fucking worker at Dunkin' Donuts, or like some kind of fucking person on a phone, a call center person, customer service, because like they're just gonna sit here and stonewall you, and until you make it bothersome for them, until you put them in a spot where they're just like that fucking annoyed that they're like, fine, just have what you want. you can't get what you want, because that's just the way the world is designed today. Yo, what the fuck is going on? Hold on one sec. People falling over, people slamming shit. Camila. Got an old woman that lives with me. So it's like I hear something hit the ground like that, and I'm like, you know, fucking. But yeah, it's just the feminization of the world, the feminization of America. You know, that's like, it's a very underestimated and underappreciated thing that has occurred, and the reason why is because it's a lot easier to manipulate people and to get things that you don't deserve when you are that way, you know. um my like it's just fucking insane, you know. One moment, I just realized. Scott, how do you feel about the biblical deal of honoring one's parents where they dishonor their children with abuse, neglect, etc.? um you know, I actually went to church for the first time in a long time today. I was going to talk about that a little bit as well. But I mean, look, like, forgiveness is one of the highest actions, you know, like forgiveness is one of the biggest, most important things that you can do. Forgiving is one of the most important and holiest, I guess you could say, you know, things that you could be. Um, and that doesn't mean that you have to let people walk all over you. It doesn't mean that you forgive people in a way that's like, you know, harmful to you. You definitely should not do that. And you can forgive from afar. That's really what forgiveness is meant to be, is forgiveness from afar, where it's like, okay, you've done something that harmed me. Like, I'm not going to allow you to harm me again. So I don't think we should be around each other like that. But also, next time I see you, I'm not going to like try and fight you or remind you of what you did or anything like that. And that's what I've tried my best to do with my mother, you know. Not to make it all about me, but I'm just using this as an example. My mother was like a scumbag, and she still has those traits about her where like there's distance between us now. I see her semi frequently. You know, I saw her yesterday, for instance. I went to my mom's house. Um, can hear so somebody's subwoofer going crazy. Anyway, but the point that the point that I'm trying to make overall is like, you got to be able to forgive. And in that forgiveness, it doesn't mean that you're just going to allow them to continuously harm you or anything like that. But it really just means that you're not gonna continue to like have some kind of fight or like always be going at it with them and shit like that. If it makes sense what I'm trying to say, fucking those things kind of throwing me off, the whole fucking loud noises, and then this dude, I would assume it's somebody below me or something like that, blasting their fucking bass. It's 10 p.m. Um, but like, let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that, right? So Zachary, excuse me, Zachary asked, Scott, how do you feel about the biblical ideal of honoring one's parents where they dishonor their children with abuse, neglect, etc.? You do just kind of have to let people be to some degree. I think that's the thing that my dad and my brother got right. I did a lot of fighting with my mom, a lot of which, if I had just learned to lie and not like care, it would have been a lot easier, you know. Which, like, I learned how to lie to my mom, don't get me wrong, but like I should have did it a lot more. I should have been like, yep, yeah, totally, I took care of that. Yep, I'm going to take care of that. Yep, I did it the way you wanted me to, and then just go and do my own thing. But Overall, as much as it sucks and as much as it hurts, as much as you look back and you think like, man, like what about all those times where they did wrong, or like they're still doing wrong to me and things like that. I think it's important to just try to let the past be the past, and don't allow them to hurt you, while simultaneously trying to have whatever kind of relationship that you can have with them. If that makes a little bit more sense, if that is a little bit more helpful as to what I'm saying, because when it comes down to it, a lot of people have their own ideas about like what that means and stuff like that, and there is a right interpretation, but what that is, I don't know. I don't think honoring your mother and father means allowing them to do harm to you constantly. I don't think that's what that means, you know? I think honoring your mother and father means you're not going to start an OnlyFans just because your dad wasn't around, you know? I think honoring your mother and father is like not constantly doing things that are like making them upset and things like that. You know, things that are bringing shame to them. I think you probably could get away with like not having as close of a relationship to them while also still fulfilling that piece, I guess you could say, you know, if it makes sense what I'm trying to say. I just have to disconnect from people like that. Hold on. Make a video recreating the Chris Chan video where his dad walks in on him. Oh boy. Hi Ecuador says, I'm a 3 strikes kind of guy. What those strikes are up to you, but once you hit 3, you're done, period. And then Smart Moron says, a real one never forgives. Like, part of the reason I'm having such a hard time with this, right, is because it's a good question that is a very common question that people will ask, even if they don't ask it in and of itself, right? Because people, we kind of inherently know that like we should be good to our parents, and that we should cherish them in some way, shape, or form, even if people are like fucked up and weird and shit like that, you know? There's so many people that I know who will constantly talk shit about their parents. I mean, at one point I was one of them, and yet they will still go to Christmas dinner and stuff like that. It's not that bad as to where they're like, nah, I don't want to see them on Thanksgiving, so I'm not going to bother, you know? But it's a tough question to have like a hard line answer to, because everybody is a little bit different and everybody went through something a little bit different, you know? Like I said, my mother was an abusive manipulator. She was an emotional terrorist. And she would purposefully put you in situations where she was trying to exert control over you. And if you said no, you would look like a bad guy. Like for instance, when I got kicked out of my house, well, let me tell you guys a story of a little over 10 years ago, about 11 years ago. I was 19 years old. I had like a really bad week, I guess you could say. I think I was manic, right? Because I was on these medications that fucked me up, and then I got off of them. But the thing is, when you get off those medications, it's not like next week you're fine. For like a year or two of your life after you get off those medications, you're probably going to be a little bit fucked. So because of that, I was mood swinging here, there, and everywhere. And then in addition to that, I was also smoking mad weed, you know? But like I was just like manic in an angry way, I guess you could say. And because of that, I ended up getting fired from my job. I didn't like do anything too crazy. I was working at a convenience store, and the way they had it set up was the afternoon shift was a 1-person shift, so it was just you there and that's it. I was like so fucked up that I was like, nah, I'm just gonna leave. I just was like, fuck this place, I'm sick of it, I'm just leaving for the day and I'll come back tomorrow. And if they fire me, they fire me. Sure enough, they fired me. And then I got into an argument with my parents, which that was like the final straw kind of argument. I ended up threatening to fight my dad on the front lawn, which is something that he used to do to me when I was a lot younger, where he'd be like, what are you talking back to me? You want to fight? You know, he'd do that. And it's funny. All of a sudden I'm a man who does MMA now. And, you know, he doesn't want to fight. He's a pacifist now, I guess. Gee, I don't know. My dad and I are mad cool now, by the way. But So I go to my aunt's house. My aunt was nice enough to take me in for, the better part of a month until I found my own place. And it was a couple of days later, I decided I'm going to go back to my parents' house and I'm going to grab some of my stuff and just bring it to my aunt's house. That way I have it there. I show up and my idiot mother left the door open. So me, I don't walk in, but I kind of push the door open because I go to knock on it and it opens a little bit and I'm like, "Oh, what the fuck?" So I open it up, I stand outside, I'm like, "Hello?" She comes out and she's like, "What? How did you get in here? You were supposed to leave your keys. What are you doing here? What are you doing in here? How did you get in here?" Like she starts just absolutely positively like laying into me, right? And I'm like, "You left the door open." And there's no like, "Oh shit. Well, sorry for laying into you." It's just, "Oh." And then she walks back to the couch, sits her fucking dumb ass down. Um, so I'm pissed now. I start like arguing with her and shit like that. Meanwhile, I'm getting my stuff. And one of the things that I got was this box that belonged to my grandfather on my dad's side. So it's not even like it was her dad's. It was my dad's, her husband's dad's. I'm sure that makes it make sense, right? But so like this is a grandfather that I never got to meet. And because of that, like anything of his, I kind of latched onto, and I was like, wow, this is his. This is somebody who was mythologized to me, essentially. Um, so I'm sitting here arguing with my mom. She's sitting her dumb ass down on the couch still. And in the middle of the argument, she decides to kick the box over, and it falls down. And then it just escalated from there. She tried to block me from getting out of the house as I was like screaming at her and trying to fucking leave. And we ended up making contact. And she used that as an excuse to call the police and say that I was like trying to beat on her or something like that. I don't know exactly what she said. Now, me, I know I have not done anything wrong. And that running is just going to make it look like I did something wrong. So I grab a lawn chair, slap it down on the driveway. I sit down in the driveway. I chill. Just wait for the cops to show up. They show up. They know that it's clearly a situation where my mother is a fucking kooky bitch and I'm just like chilling. But the thing is, the law states they have to remove somebody, and they're not going to remove the owner of the house who lives there officially. Meanwhile, I'm the one who got kicked out recently. So they take me to a hospital, not the police station, but to a hospital. They do like they do a psych eval on me. They see that it's bullshit. They release me later that night. Fucking it was just like it was just such a it was such a like shitty thing, It was such a shitty thing, man. And I'm telling you this story just so you understand how fucked up this whole situation is. And the thing is, I went to her sister's house. That was the aunt who allowed me to stay at her place. But she was also kind of bitchy as well about it. Like she took my mom's side and was like, "Well, what were you even doing there?" It's like my property was there. I went to go get it and I was going to be respectful, and my mother was the one who was being a fucking bitch. Um like literally I just had nobody on my side. But after that kind of thing, I think it's pretty fair to say that my mother and I were not on the best of terms. One of the moves that she would pull is we would go to a family party on my dad's side, and I have a big family on my dad's side, like 8, 9 cousins. They're all having kids now, so I got even more cousins and shit like that at this point. But she would purposefully, in front of everybody else, be like, when we're getting ready to go, she'd be like, "Can I have a hug?" With this little like puppy dog look. And she would know that I'm going to say no. So I'd be like, "No." And then everybody else would get real fucking uncomfortable. That was her way of trying to exert control over me, because either one, I was going to give her the hug, and that means that she still has me on her hook, or I was going to be like, no, and then I was going to look bad in front of everybody. And at that point, I decided that it's better to look bad in front of my family, who to this day I still don't feel comfortable around because of shit like that, mind you, growing up, and they saw all that shit and they blamed me for it instead of looking at my mother. Like I figured it would be better to have the family be like, wow, Scott sure is kind of being mean to his mom right now. And I made the right choice, you know, because it's better for people to think you're an asshole than for you to be like giving in to situations like that. Excuse me. Um, you know, and it's like that's the type of shit that these people will pull. It's very womanly abuse and womanly manipulation and stuff like that, you know? And that comes in all shapes and sizes where like it's not just like my mom. Like I dealt with that with girlfriends and stuff like that. Like have you ever been in an argument with your girlfriend or something like that and you're like, "Yo, honestly, like you are so fucking annoying. I want to get out of here and I don't even know what this means for us." Like this means we're broken up, whatever, I'm out of here. And she can't just say what she wants to say while you're getting your shit ready. She can't just be like, "Look, I'm sorry," or like, "Hey, you know, like this is not cool." It has to be like, "No, come here, come here. No, come here. But come here. No, 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 no. Don't leave, don't leave, don't leave. No, 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 don't leave, don't leave. Come here, come here." Like, have you ever dealt with that? Like I've dealt with it a few times. And it's like the reason they're doing that is because they physically want you to stop what you're doing and listen to them and obey them and stand exactly where they want you to stand as a means of exerting that kind of control over you. Because if they can get you to stop packing your shit to go home and come and stand in an exact spot, that means you'll listen to whatever bullshit they're gonna fling next, you know? It's just gross, you know. Women wonder why people don't listen to them, and it's like this is why they're just always trying to pull that kind of shit, and it's been almost every single one that I've ever met that I've seen that from too. There's like each of them has a little thing that they'll do, whether it's like they're like a serial narcissist, a serial abuser like my mother was, or if it's like some stupid shit where they're like, "Oh, but you mean you didn't want me to do that thing that you told me not to do? Oh, but I mean, I didn't know you meant for the rest of the time that we know each other. I just thought you meant you wanted me to stop it then. Oh, well, it's kind of your fault." Like, they all have that. It's just so, it's crazy to see. You know, it's fucking crazy to see. You know? I'm 50 seconds behind ads. I'm 50 seconds behind because ads. The story is heartbreaking. Yeah, you know, it's tough, right? I'm telling this story because partially we're just on the subject, you know. We're just on the subject, but um the other reason I'm telling it is because, like, if I can be in a room with my mother without wanting to take a knife to her face, I think most people can. I'm not saying everybody. It just takes time. What you have to do is you have to put space between you and them, and you can only see them on your terms when you feel like it, when you want it. You know, any other time, it's pointless. Um, it's just oh, I see. Okay, Zachary. Anyway, um like it's fucked up. Parents will do a lot of fucked up things because at the end of the day there's no, people say parenting doesn't come with a manual. Yeah, it does. Everybody knows what a good and a bad parent does, but the tough part about it is seeing through your own bullshit and not allowing your ego to take hold, you know? Um the important thing is to remember that your parents are humans. They're gonna do stupid shit. They're gonna do really bad shit. Part of it is that they're working off of whatever trauma they feel from like their parents. You know, that's something I heard all the time when I was a kid. You know, my dad would be like saying I throw like a girl or something like that. You know, he'd be like, you're lucky I play catch with you. My dad never played catch with me. You fucking suck." He'd be like that. You know, he'd be like talking to me like that. You know, um and that's something that I wanted to make sure that I got really good at, was like not talking to people like that and not behaving in that way, because as someone who grew up in that environment, I'm hyper aware of that kind of behavior. both the like overbearing dad who wants his kid to be like the next MLB star and the narcissistic mother like archetype. You know, I'm hyper aware of both of those, and I want to make sure that I don't become those, because um I'm predisposed to that kind of behavior. You know, I have to be very careful when I have children not to do that thing. And to this day, I'm a very good manipulator when I want to be. I know how to get what I want from a lot of different situations, and I purposefully choose not to be that way, even when it bites me in the ass. Even when I'm in a situation where I know, like, this person doesn't have a fucking clue. They're a mental midget compared to me, you know? Like, me and Letty are cool, but, like, when she came in and she tried to lay into me, that's why I started yelling over her, is because I knew that Letty is the kind of person who needs a captive audience. You need to be listening to Letty for her shtick to work, because Letty is also an all-right manipulator herself. So I wasn't going to give her that ability to say anything, so I started yelling over her. That was like a tactical move. Other than that, you guys haven't really seen me in too many situations where I've seriously been trying to like avoid somebody from like being able to get one over on me, you know? The closest thing to that would be like the Jay Dyer debate, and even then that wasn't a debate. That was just me going on there to say whatever the fuck I felt like, and then I was either going to leave or he was going to kick me off, whichever came first, and he kicked me off, you know? I wasn't trying to be manipulative with Jay Dyer. I just wanted to be like, yo, you suck. This sucks. Your whole setup sucks, you know? The vegan gains debate, that was a debate, but that was me just like shitting around, you know, because we were on the fish tank site for the first time that night, and I was like, you know, it'd be funny if we had TTS and SFX fucking playing, just blasting while I'm trying to talk, you know? And sure enough, it was fun. It was mad funny, you know? Gay guy. Nah, me and Letty are cool, you know? Me and Letty are cool now. My dad used to my dad used to shoot me in the face when he came home drunk after work. You're lucky. You're fucking lucky I'm just punching you, you know? Like, you asked such a good question, Zachary, and it's tough. And it's tough to answer because everybody's a little bit different, and I don't want to be the guy to tell people to get over it, because, like, if somebody back when I was pissed about it, and it still has an effect on my life today. It still has a severe effect on my life today, like everything I went through growing up, if I'm being honest with you. But back when I was still really upset about it, if I had somebody tell me to get over it, I'd be like, I'd want to like fucking skin them alive, you know? I'd want to take a fucking crowbar to their knees or something like that. I'd be like, that was like, no, like, fuck you. But there is a cartoon, and like, you know, there's a very Reddit thing for me to bring up a fucking cartoon. But there's a cartoon, it's called God, the Devil, and Bob, and there's this one episode where Bob's dad dies. You know, it's God, the devil, and then Bob is like the main character. And his dad dies, and Bob is talking to God, and he is very surprised that his dad got into heaven. He's like, what the hell? What's he in heaven for? What would you let him in for? He was awful to me. And God was like, oh no, your dad, he's not a bad guy, but his dad, oh man, you should have seen that guy. And then Bob is like, oh, what? Because he had a bad childhood, I'm supposed to forgive him for mine. And then God is like, look, think of dads. Think like picture every dad from Adam all the way down to Andy. Andy is Bob's son. Picture all of them in a line, each of them just going down and down and down. And Adam, hold on, fucking, this is too much noise. I got too much noise going on. Fucking, this is too much shit. I gotta close my door because I can hear other people talking. It's bothering me. Anyway, but yeah, God is talking to Bob, and he says, like, look, picture there's just one unending chain, or there's just one giant chain of dads from Adam all the way down to your son. And each dad in that line is passing down a punch, right? Like it's like the dad on this side punches me, and now I got to turn around and I got to punch my own son and stuff like that, right? The key to that situation is that you want to pass down a softer punch than what you got. And consider it to be that way, where, yeah, your dad was like kind of a mean bastard, but he was just passing down a softer punch compared to what he got. You know, I'm not doing it justice. You really gotta watch it. It was on Daily Motion at one point. I would assume it's also on YouTube. I could be wrong. But that's like about 10 years ago, actually. I watched it on Daily Motion because I found out about it through the mysterious Mr. Enter. Actually, that OG, that fucking guy. Holy shit. But it's a really good way to think about specifically your dad. And it obviously doesn't always apply. Sometimes, like, a guy had like a really nice dad and he turned into a shithead. That does happen every now and again, you know. But try and think of it that way, if it makes sense, you know. I come from a family where I have to be the parent in most cases. It's been a lot of work. I honor my family by trying to make their lives better, even though they made mine terrible. Yeah. And I think it's a good I think it's a good way to judge how you are as a man, Zachary, if even though these people made your lives shit, you're not turning around and trying to make their lives shit, you know? And that's how I think about it, is like, look, like, I don't have to be like my parents, you know? I don't have to be shitty like them, even to them, even if I feel that they deserve it, even if, like I said, I'm still dealing with the fallout of their bullshit to this day. I don't have to constantly like make decisions that are like fucked up, you know? Well, like there's you'd be so surprised how many people are still operating off of like some kind of trauma or something like that, or some kind of situation where they're like, I want to make my dad angry or something like that. It's crazy how many people are like that, you know? If you go into like a low income area, that's all it is just people who like, they're upset that their dad did this thing one time, and or their mom in a lot of cases, you know, because low income. And you know, they're like, that's why they're now 30 and they're like, hey, I'm gonna get another fucking tattoo, dude, right after I'm done snorting this fucking crushed up pill, dude. You know, like, that's the type of shit that happens constantly, all the time, you know? God says Bob has a weird head, but Jesus, Andy, yours is an abomination. That's exactly what he said, Cavalog. Man. The whole Jay Dyer thing is still insane. Guy says, come on, will... Oh, excuse me. The whole Jay Dyer thing is still insane. Guy says, hey, come on, we'll talk about X, while his audience thinks you're there to discuss Y. And then they both gang up on you because you were brought in under false pretenses. Yeah. And like, as I thought about it more, because like, when that first happened, all I wanted was for Jay to just celebrate Easter without being a bitch. That's all I wanted. Like, I wanted him to take a day off. That's it. You want to attack whatever Catholic you want to attack, do it the day before Easter or the day after Easter. Just let Easter be Easter, man. Just please. Can you take one day, Mr. Ultra Orthodox, bro, to praise Jesus instead of praising yourself for being Mr. Right about everything according to you? You know? It's like, fuck, man. But like, I thought about it as time went on. I don't have issues with ortho bros or anything. You know, Soda Man is Orthodox, and we've never had a single issue about that. Then again, we've also never really talked about that kind of thing in the first place, but you get the point of what I'm saying. Like, we're both able to keep it professional even when we're just palling around. We know, like, what's the point in talking about that? But like, at first I was just like, hey, I just wanted him to, like, you know, like, venerate Christ on Easter and not do pointless slap fights. And then as time went on, I was thinking about it more and more, and it's like he purposefully fucked around with the SEO, as to where when you type in my page, right? This was the first video that showed up for like a month and a half. 5.1 thousand views. It's not even mine. It's like you know he definitely told somebody, "Hey, can you mess around with the SEO so that this is the first thing. This is the first video that pops up when you type in Scott Sullivan MMA." You know that's what happened. Like there's no way he did not do that on purpose. And it's just like, wow, what a bitch. Jay Dyer's kind of a fucking bitch, dude. If I'm being honest with you. Like I know he's affiliated with Sam. I haven't talked to Sam in a while. I'm not sitting here like, oh, but I can't. I need to be fake about it. I need to be fake about it and bite my tongue because he writes for Sam and I want to get invited back to Fish Tank, as if I didn't already get invited back to fucking Fish Tank, or like whatever, like I'm not gonna be fake about it. Like I think the guy's a bitch. I think that the only way he can really salvage any semblance of honor that he has is to fight me or somebody else. I really think that, Jay Dyer should come up here and box. I will literally tie one of my hands behind my back. I'll tie my right hand, my power side, behind my back, and I'll use heavier gloves or something like that, so my punches are slower. And like I'll tie my fucking shoestrings together. I could throw an eye patch on one of my eyes. Like we'll figure out a way to make it even, and we'll go at it. That's the only way for someone like Jay Dyer to have any like semblance of honor after like some of the shit he pulled on me. And it's not just me that's the issue. It's that like if he's gonna do that to me, who else is he gonna do that to? Who else has he done that to? But yeah, you were right. Like the whole timeline of the Jay Dyer thing. Not to sit here talking about it too much. It's in the past. Let's just let it be in the past. I was working on a video that was kind of like a spiritual response to the debate, not like specifically to Jay, but just like outlining my beliefs on how to actually change the world. I'm still working on it. I'm going to try and get that done soon. But not to talk about it too much, but like it felt like kind of like an iDubbbz Puppet Master situation where this dude had me on under false pretenses. He told me in the DM, hey, we can talk about this thing. And then he purposefully set up a stream for me, myself. He would not have streamed that night if it wasn't for me saying, yeah, I'll come on to your thing. And then when I call him up, he's like, hey, what's up? As if I'm just calling in, as if I'm just a call in. Like he didn't set the whole thing up for me. And then he primes everyone by trying to be like, he just doesn't understand how orthodoxy is true. He just doesn't understand it. He also doesn't have a degree. He doesn't have a degree in anything. He thinks MMA means he knows something. And it's like, no, I don't think MMA means I know something. I think having an IQ above room temperature means I know something. I think having been involved in the culture war in my own little ways is how I know something. I think the fact that I've had a severe effect on the culture war that you guys don't even understand. You guys have seen my work, but you don't know it's mine. You don't know it's me. Like I think that's what really gives me the expertise, the ability to speak on it. I didn't just sit behind a fucking computer debating Muslims and shit like that, debating Catholics in a vain attempt to sound like I'm fucking smart or anything like that. I was boots on the ground for that shit, It's like so fucking stupid. He may do it to Sam at some point. That's what these shitheads are like. Crab people, big bucket. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, Sam's hot right now. So because of that, Jay is like, yeah, dude, I totally want to write for the Sam Hyde show. Haha, dude, I'm a big brain. You should let me write for the Sam Hyde show. Haha. And like, I don't even know how involved he is in that anymore. You know, I remember the one of the first episodes of the Sam Hyde show, he was supposed to do something and he just didn't. And he wrote a note in the script that Sam read out that was like, I forgot to do this. And it's like, how stupid are you? How fucking lazy can you be? Your job is to sit at a computer and type shit, and you couldn't do that. What are you talking about, dude? Holy shit! You know, my favorite part of that discussion was launching into a tirade about Evola's magical butt sex out of nowhere. Yeah, that's an. I didn't even know that book existed, let alone read it. All I did was talk about a couple of books that I read um, that are what's it called relevant, excuse me, relevant to what we were talking about. And he started trying to bring up butt sex. It's like, that's such a weird thing to do. It's not like I sat there like, every single book by Julius Evola is good and you should definitely read it, and you should be an occultist and all this other stuff. It's like, no, fucking, I read Revolt Against the Modern World and Ride the Tiger, and they were both good in terms of establishing a mindset that is able to exist in this world without actually giving in to the things that you see around you, if it makes sense what I'm saying, you know? What's going on, Parchment Harvester? He was so invested in that book. That's the crazy thing. And again, like, it's just, that's the debate bro thing, is like, you're just like a piece of shit who you're never trying to find the truth. You're just trying to win the argument, you know? Finding the truth and winning an argument are not always mutually exclusive, but a lot of the time they are, because at the end of the day, the average person is a fucking shithead. At the end of the day, you're dealing mostly with midwits in the world, and because of that, the political sphere is reduced to black Twitter clapback culture. You know, it's whoever can make the crowd go, damn, oh shit, damn, bro, oh shit. It's whoever can make the crowd do that is considered to be the winner, you know? And that's, again, like, the big reason why I don't think it's even worth it. Because I spent time arguing with people, and I realized that it was pointless. And I had other people who had done a lot more than I had done in my life. They had a lot more experience with a bunch of different things in their lives than I have ever had. And they've seen what works and what does not. And those people shared their knowledge with me. And I was also able to develop my own, if not my own theories, I was kind of able to figure things out for myself, you know? Alex Stein has the same problem. He needs to do stand up. Well, Alex Stein is a comedian though. Like, I don't see Jay Dyer as a comedian. I see him as just like a fucking internet guy, you know? He's not much different from like a Styx Hexenhammer or something like that. Or even a what's his face? The fucking guy. He's like Speed Styx Hexenhammer. Razor Fist. Yes, Razor Fist, you know? I am like that too, reshaping culture without people realizing or understanding the influence. I prefer it that way, so people stay out of my face. Yes, you know. At the end of the day, people don't want to do things because they're told. People want to do things because they're fun and interesting, and they think it's going to be good for them. You know, that's what people do things for. Everything is a trend. Everything is just what's hot now. If you are doing what is cool yesterday, you are losing, you know? The left understood this, and they still understand it, but the issue is they have pushed too hard, too quickly, and they were too rude about it. So because of that, there was a backlash. And now, even though they understand what cool is, and they, and then in addition to that, like, what became cool is something that they are diametrically opposed to, right? In addition to that, but you know, the left was able to gain the ground it did because at the end of the day, rock and roll was cool, but they also were able to inject it with a bunch of commie bullshit, you know? Pop in the 80s was cool, and they were able to inject it with a bunch of commie bullshit. Grunge was cool, and they were able to inject it with a bunch of commie bullshit. So on, so forth. That's just the way that shit works. That's the way that it happened for years and years and years. And if you opposed it, well, it's not just that you were wrong or that you were this or that or even problematic. It's not even just that you were problematic. It's that you were behind the times, man. You were hey man, you're just not cool, man. You know? Geez, you're like my fucking grandpa or something, huh? Meanwhile, his grandpa was like a hippie. You know, it's this is one of those topics that, like, again, and this is why I'm working on a video of that type, is so that we like I can explain everything from start to finish, as best I can anyway. It's not going to be like a complete, like, you know, like exhaustive thing, but I'm going to try my best to make it from start to finish as well as I can. But like it's a good topic to understand, you know. Jay Dyer is going to be Sam Hyde's Anissa Joma, and yes, they will get married, and yes, Sam will take Jay's last name, mark my words. One day Scott will come to see the truth of scientific communism, both from high Ecuador. Well, I suppose we'll see. I suppose we'll see. Oh, man. David Hideo says, can someone clip that? Man. You know, maybe someday I'll tell you guys, you know, about like the shit that I've been involved in, you know. Maybe someday. I don't feel that it's a good idea right now, though. I want to give it a little bit more time, you know. We'll see. Like, I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, the way things are going right now, there's a good chance that in a year or two I probably won't be doing this still. I'll probably abandon this channel or something like that, you know. I don't know what's going on with Fish Tank, let alone Blood Games 2. I know look, I'll say this much. Blood Games 2 is pretty much not happening right now. Okay, it's just not going to happen. But you know, like I don't know what's going on with it otherwise. I don't know if they're going to find a new place and just go right into season 5. I don't know if they're gonna try and be like, hey, let's just do Blood Games. You know, we'll try and throw something together. I don't know if they're just not gonna have Blood Games. I have no clue what's going on with that. You know, but like the bottom line is, you know, I feel like this saga of my life is probably coming to a close, if it is not already like very much like close to that close. I'm probably going to get busy with like IRL stuff. I have plans over the next year that require me to be very involved in IRL stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me if by this time next year I was just not streaming, or if I was, it's like, you know, I have like 3 viewers, you know, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. But like, hey, you know, maybe in a few years, if I still am doing this, maybe I'll come clean about like some of the shit that I don't tell you guys about that I was doing before Fish Tank. It was nothing illegal or anything like that, you know. This is nothing crazy like that. But I don't talk about it because, you know, people don't understand. For one thing, people don't understand. Excuse me. When you talk about this kind of stuff, people just don't get it. And then in addition to that, it's stuff that it's like, yeah, I don't necessarily need to be like throwing myself out there like that, you know. Anyone who thinks everything is political doesn't know how to have fun. I heard that way too much talking to lefties. Exactly. And that's their problem, is that they infused fun. You see, what happened is they infused fun stuff. They infused politics into fun things. And they pushed a little too hard. You know, if it was like 70% fun thing, 30% politics, they were pretty much okay. But eventually they started making it 60% politics, 40%, 60% fun thing, 40% politics. And then it was 50% fun thing, 50% politics, 40% fun thing, 60% politics. And now we're basically like at a 10% what is supposed to be a fun thing, and then 90% politics. And the worst thing is the focus on politics has ruined even the 10% of the fun thing. Because I guarantee you, that people would be willing to put up with non-binary whatever if the game was good, but it's not, because these ideologues don't give a fuck about making a good game. They just want to make a game that says non-binary rights and stuff like that, trans rights and all this other stuff. And because of that, there's been a backlash. And the unfortunate thing for them, the fortunate thing for us, is that there is absolutely positively nothing they can do. They just have to let this ride or run its course. Excuse me. They have to let it run its course and hope and pray that a strong leader doesn't come along and completely upend what they have. And I don't know, man. It might happen. I could see it happening, you know? That feel when Scott was doing his OnlyFans before Fish Tank, and he's just scrubbed the evidence as well. Dude, hi, Ecuador. Shut up. Shut up. He's retiring from live streaming and releasing his bi-yearly YouTube poop. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. Scott will Scott will be a millionaire in 1 year. Hey, please, you know. It's like not to go back to bitching about my life, but like I'm basically in the predicament that I'm in because of the way that I was raised, you know. And that's why it's so important to me that I raise my children the right way and that I am what they need, because you know, it's just like seeing the way my brother came out. He was the favorite versus the way I came out on the other side. It's just like, man, you know. I won't get too deep into it or anything like that, but like, you know, there's a lot of things, you know. My whole life, the first 20 years of my life were fucked up because of them, and then I slowly put my life together in a way that I can survive and I'm responsible and I'm not like constantly imploding and stuff like that. But that's the bare minimum. I've finally, after 30 years, achieved the bare minimum. You know. And now it's like, okay, well, I'm 30 and I wanted to have kids in a house by now. I can only get started on that now. Fuck. You know? Sam, you should open a mixed martial arts gym. That'd be nice. Perfect season of Fish Tank where all the contestants are Scott Sullivan. That'd be the best season. They'd call that season awesome. They'd call that season awesome. Scott Tank, season awesome. Scott asked to start a gym or bar called Sullivan's because that name works for both businesses. It does, doesn't it? I've considered Sullivan Fighting Systems for a name for a gym, but I feel like that's probably a little too much. No, that's probably a little too much, you know. Even if it's just like Sullivan's MMA or something like that. But I like the name Militich Fighting Systems. I think that's really cool. That was like an old gym back in the day. I don't think Pat Militich still runs it. But you know, I just like that name, so I was like, oh, that'd be cool. Sullivan Fighting Systems, SFS. I don't know though. I don't know. You can drink or work out, but not both at the same time. Yeah. They walk in, it's like, all right, which one today? Excuse me. We know you're in the Winter Hill gang, Scott. No need to elaborate further. Thank you, David. Thank you. I appreciate your discretion. We're an hour in and we haven't played any games, so I think we're just gonna play War of Rights, honestly, because it's easier for me to play like one game of War of Rights and then like, you know, chill for a minute instead of like pausing on the fucking whatever it's called. Boom. Bing bada boom. Could you take John Jones? Take him where? I think Ken Shamrock's was called the Lion's Den. It was called the Lion's Den. That sounds like a security company. It kind of does, doesn't it, Cavalog? Take him on a date. Yeah. both my parents like Sam Hyde. I took my mother to his New York show. Damn, that's crazy. My brother knows about Fish Tank. He actually sent me the post that Bam Margera made where he was on Fish Tank. My brother knows about Fish Tank. He watched it a couple of times. You know, like I've been on. Oh, I can't. Damn, I gotta do the fucking loyalists. Anyway, I ain't gonna be a Brit. I'll be a Hessian. How about that?
It's gonna be long range volleys for a while.
Anyway, I've been loving the War of Rights Revolutionary War update so much. Yeah, it is pretty great.
We left. On this line.
Those colonists are
Counter
getting
charge.
close.
Get your bayonets on. Get your bayonets
Uh
on.
oh,
Get your bayonets on. Get ready to counter charge.
we're getting charged.
Fix bayonets. Get ready to counter charge. We need help our house. She mercenaries. Charge!
Oh shit, dude. Holy fuck, man. V for violence. Bam coming on was an absolute power move. It really was, dude. Season 4 would have been the best season had it continued. It hands down would have been the best season. I got him. Sick. Hell yeah. Who's this? Oh, that's it. Okay. Do I have bucking ball? Ah, yes, I have bucking ball. Nice. Anyway, yeah, my brother knows about Fish Tank. He doesn't like watch it, but he's aware of it, and when he sees it, he's like, oh yeah, my brother was on that. Oh, whoops, I TK'd somebody. Oh, wait. Ah. Whoops. I think I TK'd the flag, dude. Anyway.
Like the British and American officers fool each other. I really want to see that shit.
We came right where they were charging us.
Alright, if you're surviving Grenadiers,
Right, looks like they
good
might
job. You've been awarded the medal.
Line, shoulder arms.
Yes.
Is that a chick?
Hell yeah.
Anyway.
It appears.
Yeah, I couldn't admit, like, my dad is slightly aware of what I was involved in, but he doesn't know exactly what it was. And I'm not interested in explaining it to him, you know?
The British Army said Jose, actually, so we do this. They said Jose.
Jose is gay.
Hip hip.
Huzzah!
Good boy.
Yeah, see, he just doesn't have the right oomph behind it, you know?
Depends on the regiment.
Are we gonna go shoot somebody?
British regiment of line.
To the jailhouse.
Quiet in the line, quiet.
Down this
You were on the wrong side of the war, Scott. Yeah, it wouldn't let me play as the Colonials. Oh shit. Oh damn. What is going on? What are we doing?
Hey, there's some shots in the field there.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me figure out what's my.
Ready, you will go to at the ready.
I can't even find my
Hey,
officer.
we have a couple Rambos.
I don't know where my officer is.
Unless I say
Unless one of these
otherwise,
guys.
unless I say
I don't know.
otherwise, boys, after you volley, you will reload.
This is their flag. Okay. Oh, so we're volleying over there. Okay.
Hold your fire, you rapscallion.
I must say, sir, there's a guy in that bush sniping at us.
Hey, who wants to earn glory for His Majesty?
I do, Captain.
I do.
Okay, your bayonet is fixed. Go clear that bush. We have some rebel sniper. We have some rebel sniper in that bush. I want you to go clear. I want you to go take your bayonet over there and go kill him for the king.
Got some
Over the
shots
road.
south west.
Hold here. What do you mean here they come?
Tell your dad you're on Big Brother. My dad doesn't like Big Brother.
Like one more minute, so reload. Hold on. I'd say like. Wait for a second.
3 seconds. 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 3 secon
Is that a fucking... Yeah, that's a... Yeah.
Okay, boys. Switch to independent fire. Fire when you have a shot.
That's a Rambo right there, and this dude's trying his best to...
Got shot south, southwest. Fire.
I'll go ahead, I'll Rambo a little bit. Fuck it, I might as well. Oh, dude, I can't keep it steady. Oh, they're shooting at me. Bush Gaming. Sorry, one sec. Oh man, they're firing at me like a motherfucker. Alright. Now, I'm gonna nail like one of them while they fucking, while they reload. Oh man, I got nailed. That's alright, I definitely had to kill at least one of them. How the fuck do you even know you killed someone, for fuck's sake? Yeah, that is one of the things about this game that makes it a little for people who want that gratification. But like, for me, it's fun to like to synchronize with everybody, you know.
You will die. You will die, and your lives are valuable. Get behind the rocks to reload.
Right where that smoke is.
Wait, what happened to the Brooklyn Island?
There's my fucking officer.
Retrieve the king's colors. Get the colors, boys. Good job, Timothy. My Lord Mayor recommends come on, boys. Get by 5 paces.
Yeah, I need round ball. You gotta try hell let loose at one point. That's another one. I ain't picking up that flag.
Yeah, flags down, get it up. Colors, stand by at the back of the blob.
It's way more fun to draw down on a dude and watch him collapse without the plus 100 Brazilian killed flag.
Yeah. Keep your bayonets fixed. Keep your bayonets fixed. You don't know when these.
All this is
Capping. Oh, okay. Okay, boys, fix bayonets! Fix bayonets! Load bucking ball if you have not loaded bucking ball already. Load bucking ball if you haven't already. It's gonna get funny, boys. Don't worry about it.
I gotta fix my bayonet.
Don't worry about it. Okay, boys. Once I get the pistol loaded, we're going in.
You need to like pull the American officer in.
Okay, boys. Bust you up. Fix bayonets. If you don't have one, if you have bayonets, charge bayonets.
Where are we going though? I almost domed that guy right there.
Hey, went up on our left here, south. Look south, shot south.
I'm gonna see if I can take out their flag. Damn. Why the fuck would we charge from that distance? That's so ridiculous. 6,000 years of swords, spears, and arrows. 600 years of single round guns and cannons. 60 years of automatic weapons. 6 years of nuclear development and nuking. The next tech will last 6 months. That's exactly what it's going to be.
going back in
That's
the
a
lab.
lot of dead dudes. That dude, this guy right here died looking at a dick.
That is a beautiful flag.
That's kind of gay. We do have a bad CEO. That's insane. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Why are we charging?
I follow my officer.
Where is my officer? Oh no, he's right there.
Yeah, let's keep up.
Get the regiment alive, prepare to charge again. Get boys, charge on me, charge on me, let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go, boys.
Really?
Let's get this point, we're getting back to the rocks.
Is the other team Canada?
The last wave cleared the
They're
the
America,
Continentals
damn it.
out. So it's going to be an easy cap, then we go back to rocks where we belong.
Where are we going?
Hello, Greg.
Hello, Greg.
Okay, get ready to pull back, get ready to pull back. Get ready to pull back. On me, boys, back to point. On me, boys, back to point. Back to rocks, back to rocks, back to rocks. Sorry, I said the wrong thing.
Let's go, man, let's go.
Turn around.
Turn around, stay on rocks, turn around, stay on rocks, turn around, stay on rocks, turn around.
Full kits, my lord.
You need to assert dominance and take command, Scott. Dude, I would, honestly.
Bucking ball bayonets, get behind
But
the ball.
they can't hear me.
Get behind the ball, get in this general area.
Is there bullets?
Alright, my company, let's go. We gotta go.
There is a bullet drop in this game.
We gotta go right. Let's go.
Don't listen. It's all
Company, we gotta go right.
Boy, I will shoot you in the back of your head if you accuse me of spreading independent misinformation.
Shut up, liberal.
I think we got a dirty American in this.
Now what is illiberal? Finally, no loyalists here.
We got American on this.
Yeah, boys. Yeah, independent fire point. Independent fire point. Those are continentals.
Those offensives friendlies up there. Friendlies at the tree. Friendlies at the tree.
Those are Asians. Those are Asians. Those are our men. Those are actually paid graciously for them.
Hold fire, hold fire.
Aim small, miss small, says gay guy. Yes.
Infantry, shoulder,
No, I said hold fire. I said hold
Dude,
fire.
I don't-
You said don't hold
oh,
fire.
there
Have
it
that
is.
man shot.
Shoot those men right
I have a question for the officers. I have a question for the officers. Yes, my
Hold
man.
this, hold this, hold this.
Like the traitor he is.
You very please. Stay in line, regulars. Where are you going?
Dude, I got TK'd. I got TK'd probably by the guy who I just fucking stabbed.
Go to your star. Passion, go to your star.
If you're wearing red, you're staying over
Wrong way, wrong way, wrong way. Nope. Go back, Hessian. Go back, Hessian. Stars not that way. Stars not that way.
Run away, Haitians, run away.
What? Oh my goodness, bro.
Infantry, shoulder,
Boys, get on this line, get on this line, get on this line, get on this line, get on this line. Make way! Take it! Down this line! Fire! Back behind the rocks, back behind the rocks, back behind the rocks. Bob up behind the rocks. Bob up behind the rocks. Bob up behind the rocks, get your reloads. Bob up behind the rocks, get your reloads.
That was weak.
Oh,
Look, my lord, are we still loading buck and ball?
Oh my god, fucking balling me. Come on.
Affirmative.
Yes, my lord.
Keep buck and ball loaded for the sake of for the sake of
you become less neurotically focused on your score going up as well. Yeah. This game is more about unit cohesion than it is about what kills you get. It's like really rewarding when you do shoot someone and you see them fall over. It's really nice, but it's more about like, you know, like did you effectively volley, you know? Speaking of which. Oh, there you go.
Jesus. Fire That's why I think the Haitians and the British and that be mixed.
By historical accounts, they were basically a war of rights lobby.
Haitians, what is that?
I like to imagine that the actual musket battles were not only as confusing and stupid, but also filled with as many prepubescent voices. They
So like everyone's ready.
wouldn't surprise me.
Ready, sir.
Yes, my lord.
They definitely were that confusing. Like, night combat was not something that happened back then. Specifically because you couldn't be 100% sure of who you were shooting at, you know? So, like, when the night would come, both sides would be like, alright, let's just head home.
Get your loads, get your loads, get your loads.
Oh, hot loads.
Get your hot loads.
Get your hot loads. Why don't they have French in this game?
Check's
Why
when
don't they
ready.
have the French? Check, my lord.
Check.
Somebody said Rambo South. We're shooting South.
I got this big group loading in front of me. I'm just waiting for them to finish up and then we'll go again.
Whoa, you're gonna.
Oh, isn't that like the French?
Come on. Come on. Fuck out of my way, you redcoats.
Okay, boys, move on. On this line,
Wait a second. That's my star? That was my star doing all the way over there. Native American night vision technology changed all that. Yeah. When a proud black queen invented night vision, that completely changed war. I don't think Private Ace, our CO, is fucking. I don't think he speaks.
Ready to receive.
Whoop. Looks like we're on our own, huh? Just the barefaced audacity to do what he did in the context of the Civil War, to get friendly fired by some dude half asleep, staring into pitch blackness. Where's our flag at? There's another one of our... Oh, there he is. No, that's not our officer. That's an officer. That feel when you're an English guy who gets off a wood boat in America in 1500 and you meet a Native American guy with a bow, arrow, and tactical night vision goggles. Damn. I have a fucking ball. I need round ball right now. They're too far away for me to hit them with a fucking ball. Walking around in the woods in the lamplight, just hoping you don't get hosed by a shit ton of arrows. Oh, those are friendlies. Where is my... Oh, there's my officer. These guys suck. They're just not... Nobody's doing anything. We're just shooting from this fucking far off line. Oh, somebody got nailed. Civil War 2 will have live streams. Yeah, it will. Unironically. Where is this guy going? Pretty sure I just saw our officer get fucking greased. It's gonna be so funny seeing leftists running around mid-war reciting the Geneva Convention from their saved Google Doc before the internet went down. That shit like that's gonna happen. You're gonna have someone who tries their best to be a Reddit guy about, like, war crimes, you know? It's like, I'm watching this show called Reacher, and, it's, like, not a good show. Amazon Prime original show. It's like, how a Reddit guy wishes he could view himself, you know? It's like some army guy who's also a cop, you know? And, everywhere he goes, he's just got something to say. There's always some kind of, oh, there, yep. There's always, hold on. I think I might have got their flag. I don't see their flag anymore. I might have, unless they just happened to fire, and that's why I can't see their flag. But I was aiming at their flag guy. I was aiming at their flag, and it fell. Or it fell. It's not there anymore. I don't see it anyway. I might have gotten them, might not have. But, yeah, like, it's that type of shit where it's like, well, actually, your door is supposed to be exactly 2.5 feet wide, as per the Geneva Convention. And if it's not 2.5 feet wide, that means that the Article of 25 is enacted, which means that you now have to shove a giant dildo in your ass. Are you prepared to do that? Like, it's that type of shit. They do that type of shit all the time in that show, and it's just so stupid. It's the only reason I'm watching it is because we don't have anything else to watch right now. We can't find the Sopranos anywhere for less than, like, fucking $20 a season. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Looks like they're focusing on them. Which means we can flank a little bit. There's like 5 of us, dude. Why is my star over there now? Holy shit, these guys suck, bro. These guys suck. But yeah, it's like, it's just such a bad show that way. Borrow it from a friend on the internet, Scott. I'd love to, but it's annoying, the idea of having to throw my my computer on, like, my TV, you know? I don't think I nailed anybody there. Yeah, he's the actually version of Captain America. Pretty much, yeah. That's what Reacher is, you know? It's this, like, 6 foot, like, 5, really jacked dude. His whole thing is that he's a hobo. He doesn't have a house. He doesn't do anything, or like he just travels. He just travels the country doing nothing, basically. And he's still inexplicably jacked, like, clearly roided out jacked. And it's just it's stupid as shit, you know. It's like this is what Redditors wish they could be, you know. Isn't Reacher a complete meathead? Well, he's always fighting people, but he's also really, really smart, you know. Oh, what? I was on Sopranos Discord that played the full series on repeat 24/7, but apparently the laptop they did it off of died and it never came back. I don't know how Discord didn't flag it or something. They probably didn't know. Watch every O from The Sopranos. Oh, I'll go ahead, I'll do that.
Right here behind the tree should be.
Fire on this! Fire on this! Fire on this!
What are we doing here? Who are we shooting at? Oh, them. Hello, fucking ball. I'm out of line right now? No, I'm not. What are you talking about, out of line? I'm literally right next to these guys. As usual, I don't know where my star is. Alright, I'm skirmishing now, which is good. Is Jack Reacher just a power fantasy character? That's literally what he is. The entire series is like power fantasy character for like military guys who are like Redditors, you know? It's like Redditors who want to believe that if they joined the military, that's what they would be like, you know? You know, they would be the guy who leads the special investigation unit, which, like, that's not a fucking thing. I've never heard of such thing as the military special investigation unit. You know, there's the it's like every not archetype, oh, somebody got nailed.
That was my mistake. I should have brought y'all back here like 2 or 3 minutes ago.
Anyway, it's like every sort of not archetype, cliche. Every cliche is there. There's the tough, like angry boyish girl who, like, when she dresses up, people are like, damn, you look nice, and she's like, get me out of this dress, you know, like that type of shit. You know, there's the overconfident, like, best pal who's kind of a fucking dickhead, but you still love him anyway. Hey, that's why we love him. He's a dickhead. It's just like, fucking A, dude. You know? Holy fucking shit. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. No, it's V for violence, you fucking losers. Anyway. Holy shit, I just googled Reacher and the show, and got the show, but I scrolled down, and the first question is Reacher, about it is Reacher meant to be autistic? He should be. If not, he should be. What's going on here? I don't know who to shoot. See, the Hessians look just enough like the Patriots that it makes me like, should I do this? What's going on? What? Oh shit. Oh damn. Did I nail him? That might have been him. I don't know. I might have got him.
You can't even aim, bro. Okay, boys, pull back. Get the flags up.
Go. It's fun to hit people with your bayonet, too, because it makes them all woozy and shit. It makes them all, like, dumb.
Hey, kill this colonial that's after our flag.
Somebody get that guy. You see, somebody just nailed me. Oh, man. I was one shot, so I couldn't get him, even though I got the first one. Anyway, I've heard people complaining about the uniforms being too similar. Yeah, you know, it's annoying. You can tell by the hat specifically. Yeah, like Reacher is like a woman was like, hey, like, what if we write a story for men, and they made it into like if Spike TV made a cop drama. You know, that's what it ended up being. And it's just kind of a bad show. It's just, like, it's just not a fun show to watch. It was made in 2017, back when that type of shit started happening. And Amazon was probably like, we want a show that's going to appeal to guys, to dudes, to the bros. And then some, like, millennial, like, fucking idiot, like, writer was like, oh, what do guys like? Well, they like being jacked. Nah, that's not even it. Like I've seen the name of the writers. One of the writers' names is Scott Sullivan, actually, funny enough. But it's like that's almost what it feels like. It's kind of what I'm saying, you know. It would be funnier if he was meant to be autistic. The actual depictions of autistic people in media are terrible and pretty much haven't gotten better. Yeah. You know, people don't understand anything relating to like anything, you know, and it's annoying when you have people who are like, oh, I thought you were this way. It's like, what the fuck do you mean you thought I was this way? You like just a TV show, you know? Like I'm a very stoic guy. I don't do a bunch of talking when I go to the fucking grocery store or something like that. I nailed him. I fucking got him. Oh yeah, I got one of those guys. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ah, bitch. I got you. Uh-oh. He got me too, though. Uh-oh. 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 Come on. Ah, yes, I got that fucker first. That's right, pussy. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's gonna nail me. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, 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 oh. That was my own guy that I just nailed by mistake. Yeah, but like I'm a stoic guy. I don't go to the grocery store to talk to people, right? And there's this chick at the grocery store, and I've known she's been attracted to me for years, right? But recently, you know, like we struck up conversation once when I happened to be there beyond just the, hey, how's it going? You know? And she was like, oh, you know, you're kind of intimidating a little bit, you know, like you strike me as like a Craigslist killer kind of guy. And it's like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, people who are like that are like Ted Bundy, you know, they're like, they're very charming. They come to you and they give you what you want, or they put you in a situation where you feel bad for them so that you're going to be willing to be around them and stuff like that. The guy who doesn't want anything from you other than for you to just scan his fucking groceries so he can go home and spend time with people that he knows and cares about. Oh, who's going to win this one? Who's going to get the... Oh, poor guy. Poor guy. Anyway, the guy who just wants you to scan his groceries so he can get home and like spend time with people that he actually cares about on that level. That's not like, he's not like a bad guy, you know. But part of the issue with the world that we live in, and this has kind of changed a little bit, I feel like, but not in a good way. But part of the issue with the world we live in is that, who stabbed me? Anyway, yeah, part of the issue with the world we live in is that, like, there's this weird expectation from, like, bullshitters that you're just supposed to put up with their shit and you're supposed to engage with it and you're supposed to, like, be party to it. And if you're not willing to do that, if you're the kind of person who's just like, nah, I'm not into that, then, like, they have a problem with that, you know? It's like, if that's kind of a joke that's been going around lately. Oh, I've seen it a couple of times over the last 6 months to a year. Is if you are like if you are I don't feel like playing another one right now, so I'm just gonna exit game. Anyway, like if you just go to work, do your work, don't bother anybody, and you go home, that's a problem. And there's gonna be somebody who's like, what's that fucking guy's problem? What's he too good for us? And it's like, first off, like, I don't know you. I don't want to know you. I'm not here to be your pal. I'm here to do a job, you know? And it just fucking sucks, man, you know? Jesus, that battle map just play the Benny Hill theme song. Yeah, you might as well. That was a ridiculous battle. It was not that fun. That map was not that fun, you know? Just open field guys shooting at each other. You need a little bit of cover to be able to maneuver, you know? Nobody, it's not a game of checkers. Nobody's gonna like want to get up and close and personal in that way, you know. I know a guy who constantly talks about a potentially fatal injury he had almost 10 years ago, and for some reason he reminded me of the autism thing you guys are talking about, blaming certain social shortcomings and overall shitty traits on his accident. And yeah, like there's definitely because I don't believe in autism. I believe that it is learned traits combined with either a substantially higher or lower IQ than what is considered to be average. I think that's really what autism is. And I think that it is real easy for something to go wrong when you're a child or, even an adult, and you can have a really big change in personality. I think that's possible and it happens, and it is real easy for people to kind of steer into that where it's like, oh, well, I got bonked on the head, so that's why I'm being a creep to you right now. Like that's what Chris Chan did a lot of the time. That's what Chris Chan did a lot of the time. If you watch the Chris Chan documentary, the Chris Chan Comprehensive History documentary, you'll see that a lot of the time Chris does things that are like bad. He does like weird creep things. And instead of just being like, oh yeah, maybe I should knock that off, he's like, but I have autism. I have autism. And that means that I have a hard time understanding social cues. That's the best Chris Chan that I could pull out of my ass on a moment's notice. But it's not the autism. Whether you believe in it or not, that's not the autism. That's some form of like narcissism or just like self-obsession or something like that, where he just can't take no for an answer. It's real easy for some people to be like, oh, you don't want me to touch you? Oh, sorry, I have autism. It's real easy for someone to do that, It's more of an immature thing than it is like, an autism thing and then like talking about it. So whenever someone leads with I'm autistic, whenever someone leads with I'm bipolar, whenever someone leads with I have this or that or the other social or mental or whatever issue, I automatically write them off and I'm never wrong about it. I'm legit just never wrong about it, where it's like, okay, so it's not that this person has whatever they claim to have. Whether I believe in it or not, whether anybody believes in it or not, it's not even just that, assuming they do have it. It's that they are just a shitty guy or girl, and they're using that as an excuse to continue to be shitty. That's really what it is, And sure enough, it's like this chick. I tell stories about this chick every now and again. Funny enough, Arie also knows this chick. But like, it's a girl that I dated back when I knew him. And it was a girl who I met before I met my wife. This chick, big titty goth girl, she was 29, I was 23, and like, she just could not keep it in her pants in a way that made it so that I was like, yo, this chick is fucked up. And when I would talk to her about it, I'd be like, yo, you don't see a problem with that? Like, that's fucked up that you do that kind of thing. And she'd be like, well, you see, I have bipolar disorder, and sometimes with bipolar disorder, you end up going through manic phases where you're just really horny and like you're hypersexual and stuff like that. And it's like, that just sounds like you're aware of the issue and you're not doing anything about it. That's all that is. You're just telling me, yes, I know it's bad, but I don't care. That's all you're saying, Zachary, what's that tiny URL thing you just posted? I'm curious about it. Although I should know better than to do the tiny URL thing. I've seen enough jump scares to soprano O's and O's. I'll have to watch that later because I don't know if it's gonna trip the copyright thing on me. Thank you very much for that, Zachary. This isn't grocery store chick, right? I don't know if it is grocery store chick. I forget what you're talking about. Oh, no. Grocery store chick is just a chick that works at a grocery store that I've gone to for 10 years now. And she hasn't been working there for like 10 years, but she's been there for a long ass time. I feel like the first time I saw her was like maybe 2017, and she kind of gave me the eye. And I just never said anything to her. It's not even that she's not cute. She's cute. Um but I just never said anything. I was just like, nah, whatever. Nah, whatever. Nah, whatever, Um but yeah, also a virus says hi Ecuador. But yeah, this chick that I was talking about is a big titty goth chick. Is who it is, you know. Oh, excuse me. Oh, somebody said somebody commented on one of my videos, and like they were just joking around, but I thought they were serious for a second, so I almost read out their shit like, oh, listen to this fucking idiot, you know. uh Man, something like caught in my throat, and it's like, ugh. When you get like hair caught in your throat and you're just like, ugh, ugh. It's like, fuck. Anyway, Redditors be like, hell yeah, reparations as their girlfriend sleeps with a black man. Yeah, pretty much. Fucking pretty much, dude. It's crazy how much politics is just somebody's sexual fetishes, and it's always been like that, but it has especially become that way even more as time has gone on, where it's like when I see a white dude who's like, actually Black Lives Matter, it's just, I like, you there is a non-zero chance that he is going to go home and watch like blacked porn and shit like that, it's just like it's just, what kind of degeneracy, what kind of sexual shit can I try and force onto the world via politics? How can I have my state enforced homosexuality? How can I have my state enforced black dudes sleeping with white women? How can I have my state enforced cock cages and shit like that? It's like that's just how it is with these dudes, and it's so fucking weird. And in some cases, I feel like some people don't even necessarily realize it, or maybe they're just not as attuned to it as they could be. But it really is just like a weird thing where somebody just wants their sexual shit to be accepted. That's really all it is at the end of the day. That's it. It's fucking bonkers. Scott's devoted hours of stream time to big titty goth and little to none to his actual wife. That's because my wife is cool. He devotes plenty of time to his beautiful Brazilian baby girl off stream. Exactly. We got home from church. We went to Brazilian church. It's a Catholic church, but they do Portuguese sermons on Sunday nights. And I figured it's better for me to go to a service. It's better for me to go to a service that I can't 100% understand than it is for me to not go at all. And I mean, it was nice, it was nice. I understood a little bit here and there, but I'm still learning. And I actually, part of the reason why I was like, no, let's go to it is because, excuse me, is because I was thinking like, hey, maybe this will help me. Maybe this will help me with understanding Portuguese a little bit better. Maybe it'll help me out, so I'm gonna start doing that every Sunday. I also got to go to confession so I can partake in the host again. It's good to be going with my mother-in-law because she's a pro. I'm not up to date on all of the Catholic everything. I'm not a stickler for rules kind of guy. So it's nice to have somebody who like will kind of help me through the process. My mother-in-law's good with that kind of thing. It's like working its way up. that hair is like working its way up. But anyway, as a white dude who grew up in houses surrounded by Nigerians and Ghanaians, because they were all our neighbors, the biggest lesson I ever learned from them was not to be a race traitor. Yeah, because they're not going to stick up for you under any circumstances. You know, comes down to you or like somebody they know, they're not going to stick up for you. You know. Is a bottle of 20-year-old beer safe to drink? I don't know, Rusty. I don't know. I would pay to see Scott sit in a black gospel church. And the Lord said, and the Lord, and the Lord said. Man. This is about that time to get out of here. I'm going to give it another 2 minutes, though. That way we can hit the 2-hour mark, you know? So if anybody has anything to say, definitely say it now. Say it now. You know, today was weird because I went to church. You know, so since what we're probably going to be doing is... going to church on Sunday afternoons from now on, this stream is going to have to be either before or after, and I would much rather do it after if that's at all possible. You know, so we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out though, you know. Does UFC get better or worse when Dana leaves finally? I don't know. I got to be honest with you. I don't think the WWE has gotten better. I think it's steadily gotten worse. Then again, I was never that big of a fan of the WWE, but there's something about it now that Vince McMahon is gone that it just feels fucking soulless. I remember watching Raw on Netflix, and like they carted out like The Undertaker and The Rock and Cody Rhodes and all these other names, and even though I don't watch wrestling, I know who they are. And they're trying to have them hype everybody up instead of having Vince McMahon be the master of ceremonies. And it's just like, man, this is bad. This is fucking bad, dude. It sucks. It's more corporate now than it ever was, and it has less of a soul. So that's what I'm afraid of, because I mean the WWE and the UFC, they are under the same umbrella now. They're under the same parent company. So what's gonna happen when Dana's like, oh, it's about time for me to get out of here? If they even have a CEO, well, that's the thing, is they're probably going to have not a CEO, but like a president or something like that. If they have anybody step in, like there's a good chance it's going to be a soulless, like fucking just a dog shit pick, you know? It's just not good. It's not going to be fun. It's just not going to be good, you know? There's a chance they might not even have somebody step in, and they make decisions via board meeting and stuff like that about fucking everything, and it's just gonna be terrible, you know. Am I wrong in saying the WWE has always been in the back of your head, felt milquetoast compared to actual combat sports? You know it's fake. You'd be silly to say it doesn't silently take that Rhodes silently take part in how you view it. Like, who's watching the WWE to see Jake Paul jump on top of that Rhodes dude? Well, you see, I wasn't allowed to watch it when I was a kid because we were on like the tail end of the Attitude Era, and my parents, again, my mom was very much like, no fun allowed. You'd think my mother was Jewish, but she was just Italian. Italians are like the Jews of Europe, but you know, specifically the women, they have that same kind of put a coat on, it's cold outside, you know, like they have that same thing going on as Jewish women. But fuck, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like I wasn't allowed to watch it. And by the time I was able to watch it, I noticed that it was not that good. The first time I ever watched it was on TV at a hotel that is now used for migrants. It was like my brother's friend, and they invited my brother and me to like a birthday party at the hotel. That was kind of like their way of having a fun little night was like, oh dude, we're gonna have a hotel party, and we'll all sleep in the hotel, and there'll be baby oil, and no, I'm kidding, but we turned on the TV and the WWE was on. I think it was either Raw or SmackDown, I don't know which, and it was just like there was just too much talking, too much like hyping the crowd up, and not enough actual wrestling. There weren't any real matches going on and stuff like that, and it was just like, this fucking sucks, dude. And then I watched it again, probably like 7 or 8 years later. I was 10 years old at the time, I believe. I watched it when I was like 18, 19, 20, because some friends of mine that did watch it their whole lives were like, dude, let's get high and watch the WWE again. And it was just even more of that same shit, but now with people who are just not fun to watch, because I could get the appeal of, say, like a Sting or a Triple H or a Randy Savage or Hulk Hogan. I could get the appeal of those characters, but I feel like when I started watching, like, not started watching, because I didn't like start. I just watched it with some buddies of mine a few times while we were stoned. Like Alberto Del Rio was one of those guys, and he was just like not a fun character. It's just like the characters suck. I think that's the big piece of it. The WWE is first and foremost a character driven it's a character driven promotion. It's a character driven entertainment promotion, and the characters have to shine through in everything they do, whether it's hyping a fight, whether it's like that backstage, like pretending as though it's not completely and totally staged, where like somebody walks into a room and there's their enemy there, and the enemy's like, I'll see you on the 10th, loser. And then they walk off. Like, if the characters suck, man, the promotion sucks. And I haven't seen a single character that has been like, that I've been like, oh, I want to watch that guy. I want to see a little bit more of that guy. I bet if I was watching in like when The Rock debuted, I bet I would have been like, whoa, back when Triple H was still wearing fucking, was it Triple H who he used to he used to wear like the jean shorts or something like that. I know what's his face used to do that. Triple H kind of had like a grunge look for a little while, back when Triple H looked like he was a member of Pearl Jam, back when Sting was still in the game. Like, I bet if I was watching when those guys, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, I know Chris Benoit, but if I was watching when those dudes were in the game, it would have been like, I probably would have been like, whoa, this is the best, I can't get behind shit like Paul versus Tyson being a sanctioned fight. LOL, it's a mockery. Yeah, I mean, boxing's a mockery. The combat sports world is a mockery, and that's why. Like hold on. Actually, you know what? This is a perfect time. We're gonna end on this topic. We're gonna end on this topic right here. I just need to figure something out here. Un momento, por favor. I guess I'll follow this chick. Sometimes I see someone who likes something of mine, and I'll be like, "Who the hell is this?" And I'll hover over their thing, and I'll be like, "Oh, they have like mad followers. That's funny. I guess I'll follow them back." Anyway, I gotta find the post. I gotta find the post here real quick, right? I made a post yesterday, and it didn't get a whole lot of traction. None of my posts get that much traction, right? Oh, yes, here it is. But let's see here. Yes. So this chick went viral for literally this chick right here. I guess her name is Mona Kimura. Apparently she's 3-0 as a pro kickboxer. Good for her. This is her whole thing, right? This is her whole thing right there, is that she throws those kinds of side kicks. She throws side kicks and side teeps. Now, if you pay attention to her opponent, She is not very good. She has her hands up in a high guard, but not a dexterous high guard, and the kind of high guard that somebody adopts because they were told to keep your hands up, right? Not to down Luke for his boxing skills or anything like that, but it was like, if just as an example, you could see the same thing happen with Luke in season 4. He has his hands up, but it almost seems like he doesn't really know like what to do with them. So because of that, he kind of gets hit with shots that he didn't need to get hit with. This chick is kind of the same deal, right? Very flat-footed. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Fucking look at the way she's walking. She's literally walking like this. Flat-footed, walking forward like this. This is her third pro fight, meaning Kimura, the girl in the purple, you know. Referee stoppage. Somebody actually tried to give me some shit, right? Oh, her kicks look so painful. I thought the guy said pitiful for a second. Somebody tried to give me shit because I was talking about this. I said, this time they gave her a woman with even less experience. This is how people spar their first day of class. The cancers we see in combat sports in the West are tenfold in Asia. This guy said Ozawa is 12, 27, and 4, talking about this chick right here. The chick in blue, her last name is Ozawa or something like that. What that means is that Ozawa is extremely undertrained and is brought in specifically to be a punching bag for people who are just making their debuts, people who are just getting started. She is literally being paid to lose, and she is aware of that, so she doesn't feel like she needs to get better. All she has to do is show up and take a couple of punches and kicks, and who knows, maybe she'll get to throw a punch and a kick of her own, and maybe, just maybe, she'll land just right, and it'll all work out, and she'll get a win every now and again, you know? But overall, she is here to make this girl look good. And you can see, right? What's her, oh yeah, Mona Kimura. Let's go ahead and look, right? Excuse me. So, this right here.
Spammed one move for the entire.
Yeah. Shut up. This is her most impressive fight to date, because this woman, you can actually tell, kind of knows how to fight. Her Muay Thai is not the worst that you've ever seen, right? You know, she's got at least a sort of dexterous guard. It's just that the way that she fights and the fact that she's so much smaller than Mona Kimura over there, that is where the fix is. I mean, look at the height difference between them, right? Hold on. I'm trying to... You see the height difference between them, right? This is how they fixed it in this case, where they gave her a woman who actually, you could tell, knows how to fight. She's probably trained for a while. She's probably had multiple fights, and you know, she's probably very experienced. And not like experienced in the way that the other chick, the Ozawa chick, this girl is. She actually is like not half bad, even if she's not the best you've ever seen. But the fact that they gave her somebody who is a full 6 inches taller than her, and you can, I mean, look at the difference in the legs. Look at the difference in the legs. This is where her hips are. There's another fucking like 6 or more inches of just leg reach that this chick has. Like, it is they're giving her girls that she's supposed to be able to beat, and it gets worse, right? Like I said, this right here is actually her most impressive one. It's actually like she's at least fighting someone who knows how to fight here, even if it was bullshit in the first place, you know? Like if you took Francis Ngannou and put him against fucking some like no-name dude who's like 155 pounds. You take some no-name 155 pounder that was never gonna be anything in the UFC, and you put him up against Francis Ngannou, right? This was her first fight. Take a look at this bullshit. This is crazy, right? So no clear height or reach advantage, but you're gonna notice one thing before I show you something. Keep an eye, or you're gonna notice one thing, right? Keep an eye on this woman and how she moves and how she fights. She fights like a karate point sparring chick. I have a guy, right? He's a cool dude. I consider him to be a friend at this point. He's been coming to my gym for a couple of years, and he came from a point sparring background in karate. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna see if it shows anything else, right? But this is exactly how he sparred when he first came in, where he was throwing light kicks to the leg to try and get your focus down here so that he could lightly tap you in like the chest, is how he fights. They took a chick who only does karate point sparring and they put her in a fight with a woman that they were trying to build up into a viral sensation, right? It's just crazy, you know? And like that's why I told myself, like, as time went on, I was like, yo, I don't want to be a part of this. Because for one thing, I'll be honest with you, I don't have connections like that. I don't have people who give enough of a fuck about my success as to where they're gonna guarantee that I am the predator in these situations. So what's going to happen is I'm going to be dealing with these promotions and they're going to be trying to make me the prey. They're going to give me dudes that are hand-picked for me to lose to, essentially. Excuse me, whether I'm in on it or not. Whether I'm just like, yeah, that's fine. I'll just be Mr. Journeyman and I'll take paychecks to lose. Haha. Or if I'm like, no, I'm going in there and I'm gonna really try and do some damage. Oh fuck, why is this dude like 6'4"? They didn't tell me he was 6'4", you know? Like I don't have those connections or the people around me that care enough about whether or not I win or lose as to where I feel comfortable entering into a situation like that in the first place. And then in addition to that, why would I want to be a part of that too? I got into fighting because it felt real. I got into fighting because it didn't feel like we were beating around the bush with like baseball or football or hockey or anything like that. At least you can fight in hockey, but like it felt like it was something that was real. It felt like it was something where you could go and you could lay it all out there and you could really take a risk, and if it paid off then you deserved the glory. But I'm sorry, but as adorable as she is, as adorable as this little chick is, you know, as adorable as she is, as adorable as she doesn't deserve the glory. She doesn't deserve the attention for being anything other than someone who is being protected by a bunch of Japanese fight promoters and things like that. That is all that is. That's all it is. And I don't want to be involved in a world like that. Or if I'm going to be involved in a world like that, I'd rather be a guy who protects my guys from ending up like this poor woman right here, who probably also got into it because she felt some kind of altruism about what the sport was supposed to be, just to find out, oh no, actually, it's scummy, just like a lot of the other things in the world. It's fake. It may not be WWE fake, but it's fake in that there's a favorite. There's a favorite. I don't know who these guys are. I don't know if they're like, you know, from the promotion in so far as like they're some of the movers and shakers, but they're probably sitting there like, yeah, our girl is beating up the person that we hired to get beat up. That's fantastic, you know? And it's frustrating as someone who's been on the inside of that, because people who have not been on the inside don't really understand. They might be able to get it because it's not like it's like esoteric information necessarily. It's actually pretty it's pretty well known that that's the way the fight world works, but people severely underestimate just how common it is to have dudes who like the first 10 to 15, or if it's boxing, the first 30 to 40 fights of theirs are against people that were essentially paid to take a couple of fucking hits and then fall over, you know? And it's like, why would I want to be a part of that? I'm considering having one pro fight just so that I can say I had one, you know? And even then I'm like, yeah, but like, am I going to go to the promoter and be like, look, I just want one pro fight, that's it, Give me someone who's going to be a good fight for me. And then they're like, oh, yeah, no, we got you. And then they try and slip me the name of some guy who's like 8-0 or something like that. Meanwhile, I'm making my debut. He's like 8-0. He's been active all year. The last time I was active was 2019. It's been 6 years almost since my last fight, and I'm supposed to fight that guy, and what? Because honor, glory. Because that's what fighting's about, baby. Hey, that's what fighting's about. That's what we're in it for, is because we're warriors. No, we're not. We're not. Fucking these, none of them are. None of them are anymore, you know? When I got into it, it was at the tail end of that era of like, hey, we're not getting paid millions of dollars to do this. We're doing it because we love it. And, you know, like if we're lucky, we can get just enough to pay some bills. Like that's like, we're at the tail end of that, you know? We were at the tail end of that, excuse me, when I started, and I didn't get the memo. So I ended up getting into the cage with a dude who, even as an amateur, was just looking for an easy fight. So he lied about his experience, you know? It's just so gross, you know? Oh yeah, we got a guy for you. We call him High Ecuador or the Tickler. You down? I'd say yeah. I'd get rock hard immediately, and I'd say yeah. Gay guy says, those clips managed to look impressive even after listening to you talk about them. That's how I know the matchmaking was nice there. LOL. Exactly. You know, like I can look better than this woman if you give me the right person. Like it's not about like skill insofar as it is about being more skilled than the person who's across from you. And that's all fighting is about. It's not about being the best. It's not even about being good. It's just about being better than the guy who's in front of you. And you can do a lot. You can get away with a lot, you know? Especially when you have a situation again where just like in this one that I was talking about, where you have a reach advantage that's so great that you can get away with standing there on one foot because she has to walk right into that foot if she wants to throw punches or kicks. That's why she was able to get away with that in this fight, is because of that severe height advantage, you know? And that's why someone like John Jones is able to do it, is because he's able to utilize the size advantage. And that's why he didn't fight a ton at heavyweight. That's why he's ducking Tom Aspinall. That's why he probably wouldn't even take another fight with anybody if it came down to it, you know? Because not only is he not being given fights with guys that he has a reach advantage on like a motherfucker and a height advantage on like a motherfucker, but in addition to that, he's also old now, so he's not going to be as quick. He's not going to be as sharp, you know. Excuse me. Sounds like it's your fault the era ended. To be honest, Scott, it was. They were like, oh no, we can't let Scott at the top. He'll kill everybody. I don't know why, but I'm friends with Johnny Walker on PS5. He was just online playing COD. Dude's online all the time. Dude, Cavalog, you should hit him up and tell him to follow me on Twitter. You should tell him to follow me on Twitter and come on to a stream. That'd be sick, dude. Johnny Walker for Fish Tank. You know, Johnny Walker for Blood Games. We want it, like, when I say we, I mean me and Xavier. We wanted to get this one dude, Arnold Allen, on, but it got vetoed. Arnold Allen is he's kind of a poppin' 135 pounder right now in the UFC. He's a British dude. I hit him up and I was like, hey, you like Sam Hyde stuff? And he was like, yeah. And then I was like, oh, sick. So have you heard of Fish Tank? And he was like, of course. And I was like, oh, sick. This guy probably knows who I am already. I just gotta check to see if we can bring him on. And when I asked, I was told nah, and I was like, oh fuck, you know, like me and Xavier wanted him on because imagine how ridiculously funny it would be of like a legit UFC 135 pounder running around just like beating the fuck out of people on Blood Games. You know, I would like we could have given him a pair of gloves. We could have asked for volunteers, like, yo, so who's willing to get punched by this guy? and like I'd volunteer. Fucking, we could have been vampires. We could have ran at him. He could have beat the hell out of all of us. You know, with the boxing gloves on. That would have been such a fun thing. Uh, Probably more fun to see on camera. You know, but like it would have been cool as fuck. You know. But it was just it was vetoed. You know, we wanted to get him on Fish Tank. It would be, I think, an even better one though would be Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker on Fish Tank Blood Games would be insane. That would be the most insane shit you've ever seen. Man. Um, Day 25 of Fish Tank Season 4, by the way. Man, I wish, dude. I fucking wish. I'm so disappointed about Blood Games, man. You know, and it sucks because it's not just like, oh well, you know, we'll push it back. It's like, no, like they're gonna sell that house. They're probably gonna have to undo all of the work everybody did. They're probably gonna have to like tear shit down, burn it down, whatever they're gonna have to do. And then if we are gonna have Blood Games too, they're gonna have to buy a property that will allow for that, and then we're gonna have to do builds on it, and it's gonna be twice as hard because at the very least with Blood Games 2, there were a lot of things that were built already. Like the arena was already built. We didn't have to worry about that at all, you know? The base camp was built. We didn't have to worry about doing that. Shitty, it needed to be built, but that was not as bad as it was the first time around, you know? So not only were there things that were built, but also we could build new things too. You know, the shitty map, like I hope they can at least like show a picture or a video of the improvements to the shitty map. I hope they can do that at least like once before they completely destroy it. But yeah, it's like if Blood Games 2 was going to happen, it probably wouldn't be until like next year, you know, which is unfortunate. You know, unless they were going to rush season 5, unless they were going to rush season 5 and then they were going to and then they were gonna, like, while season 5 was going on, they were gonna bring everybody back in and be like, okay, we're starting from the ground up, let's go, you know? It just sucks, man, you know? It just sucks, dude. I can legitimately pass the message on if I'm warranted to. No idea if anything will come from it at all, but I'll try middleman it and put word there. Honestly, dude, I don't want you to do anything that's gonna put you in a weird place with him. Although it is Johnny Walker, so I don't know. Like I don't know if he'd be like, oh, this guy's being fucking weird trying to get me to talk to his friend. I don't know if that's the idea that he would have. But like if you did do that, I would appreciate it a lot. Like sincerely, like thank you for even being willing to consider doing something like that. It would just be really cool to talk to Johnny Walker. You know, this Brazilian dude who now lives in Ireland with like a very Irish or like fucking Celtic sounding name. Not Celtic sounding, but you get the idea. You get the idea, you know. Sam has a lot riding on the success of the brand, so I know he'll do what needs to be done. I wonder what it will look like and who will be involved. Yeah, I mean, I hope I can be. Look, if I'm being 100% honest with you guys, Blood Games 2 was a way for me to go out on my own terms. It's like I said, I feel like the whole being in with $1 Million Extreme Com 98 thing is kind of coming to a close for a couple of different reasons. One of them being that I have shit that I have to do. I'm 30 years old. I gotta like finally get my life figured out on a level where it's like, okay, I have a house now and a business and children. You know, I'm trying to get that underway. Because of that, I can't be hanging around like pretending to be a vampire daywalker or like a karate black belt. You know, it's not something I can really do for the rest of my life, you know? At least they're not paying well enough for me to do that, you know? But, like, it was a way for me to go out on my own terms where it's like, look, I'm not saying I'll never be back. I'm just saying, like, if this is the last time, then thanks. because like I'm not holding my breath that I'm gonna be back like it was season 3. Then in addition to that, there's also a piece of it that was like, okay, so the season 3 situation occurred. I was not very happy with the way that things were handled with me. I was not the only one who had things handled that way, where we were told, yes, you will be on, but radio silence, ghosted out of nowhere. But that doesn't mean that I have to be like cool with it, you know? I kept my mouth shut about it because it is what it is. Sometimes things change. But if there's one thing I did not like, if there's one thing I was not a fan of, and I even let Sam know about this, was that I was told I'd be on, then something changed and I was not going to be allowed on. Okay, fine. But they didn't let me know that. And because of that, I was hyping up Twitter like, I'm going to be on. I'm going to be on. I know I'm going to be on. These guys wouldn't leave me out to dry, you know. I'm going to be on. And then all the weird freak haters sat there like, oh, dude, you got replaced. Oh, dude, haha, blacklisted. Oh, dude, you're begging to be on the show. Excuse me. No matter how much you tell someone, oh, don't listen to them, and no matter how much you tell yourself, oh, don't listen to them, even if it's correct, it's still like, yeah, but I'd rather not feel like I have to listen to them because I got the last word. So in a certain sense, Blood Games 2 was my last word, where it's like, you see, fuck you guys. Like, that was just a weird situation with season 3. And especially now that we know what happened with the whole, like, town coming after them thing, it's like, oh, well, that's a double whammy, where it's like, oh, really? Was I blacklisted? Was I not allowed back? Or is it that they were fighting a legal battle? and they were like, fuck, we can't think about anything other than how we're going to keep the season afloat, you know? Excuse me. But, like, the point that I'm trying to make is, like, I hope that I'm involved in Blood Games 2 if they do decide to have it. I'm disappointed because of the time and energy that was put in, not just by me. In fact, I didn't put nearly as much time and energy into it as, like, some of the other people who are involved. But then, in addition to that, like, I'm hoping I can have a one last hurrah kind of situation. If it makes sense. You know? Blood Games 2 is ideally a 2026 event. Yeah, and that's what I figure will probably happen. It'll probably be spring or summer of 2026. I mean, that's cool and all, but I might not be around for the spring or summer of 2026. Like I said, I got plans, you know? I got plans to try and enter into the next phase of my life. And they're gonna be commencing around that time, you know? So it just sucks, man. You know, it just fucking sucks, man. You know, you were a fulcrum to the success of the first 2.5 seasons in my book. Thank you very much, Tone. I appreciate that. You know, and I have a hard time giving myself credit for anything, but I definitely was part of why the seasons did well. I definitely was. You know, I can give myself credit there. The Fish in season 2, they were looking forward to the boxing and the karate because they had nothing else to do, and it was a moment where they could be doing something with somebody who was not like constantly just there to fuck with them, you know. Season 1, the same thing, like helping out John with the boxing, Airsoft Fatty, you know, helping him work out. And you know, Vance and Josie, by the time the season was like, by the time it was like week 5, they were so pent up. They had so much shit pent up. They were like, hey, can I do it too? You know? Like, I've seen the jokes people make, like, oh, well, the 2 seasons Scott wasn't on, they failed. Obviously that's a joke, haha, funny. But like, I do think that certain people leaving in season 3 didn't have to happen if they had something to look forward to every day in terms of like stress relief, you know? I'll say that much. I wish you the best in those plans, Scott. I wouldn't put a ton of salt into promises from the crew. Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't put salt into promises from anybody, you know? It's like I said, things change. That's why I didn't throw a fit during season 3, you know, is because things change sometimes, you know? It happens. Fucking, oh well, what you gonna do? You were also the first person to host interseason multi-fish content. I suppose I kind of was to a certain degree, you know, with the Family Feud thing. Oh man. Oh, you gonna what the fuck? Get out of here. No, get the fuck out of here, malware bites. Anyway, oh man, dude, it's a little past midnight. I gotta get going. But sorry man, was grabbing a drink. Yeah, it's no hassle at all on my behalf. I don't tend to approach things from a holy shit, I'm talking to you standpoint, but more I'm comfortable here way. So I'll write up a nice message and send it on. No harm in trying to build that bridge at all, man. Hey, thank you very much, Cavalog. I really appreciate that, man. I appreciate that so much. You know. Shit, I saw someone say something. Oh, you gonna watch any of Congregated? Gonna have all your favorite people? Yeah, I'm gonna check out Congregated. Is it July 17th or July 19th? I have to double check, but yeah, I'll be checking out Congregated. It sounds like it's gonna be a fun little thing. I like that. I like that it's kind of become like a networking sort of thing. You know, Fish Tank kind of grew to be more than just Fish Tank because of that. But yeah, I'm gonna be watching Congregated. You know, I might react to it on here depending on how Greg feels about that. I'll check with him to make sure he's cool with the idea of me reacting. And if he is, then I'll go ahead and you know, I'll do a stream or two where I react to Congregated. But yeah, you know, it was you, then Alex Stein, then Greg doing the one-off D&D, then Pow Tank, now Greg stuff. Oh yeah. I do want to pivot into something with all of, or if not most of, the people from Blood Games, though. I was talking about that with Xavier, and we're trying to figure something out. It's not the most important thing to us right now, but if we could figure out something, whether it's IRL or just like, you know, a stream or something like that over the internet, then we will. But you know, we got shit that we're trying to figure out right now, so we'll see. We'll see how that all works. Will you burn your LARP gear now? No, for the simple fact that I am kind of anticipating that there will be a Blood Games 2, and I'm hoping that there will be a time frame within the next month or two that somebody will fill me in on. But eventually, like, you know, if I don't hear anything, then I'll probably just sell it. Dude, I was gonna sell all this shit. I was gonna sell the lighter, you know, I was gonna sell the sword, I was gonna sell the whole wardrobe. I was going to get it signed by everybody involved, you know, and it was going to be fun. It was going to be nice, you know, but, yeah. Oh, well, what you going to do? Anyway, I'm going to head out. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it. I will talk to you guys soon. Maybe I'll stream tomorrow. Maybe not. We'll see what happens. But if not, I will definitely be streaming Wednesday, so I will see you then if I don't see you tomorrow. Like I said, we'll see what happens. But yeah, happy 4th, happy belated 4th, and till next time, peace out.